Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're taking a look at these pretty cool knives. These are from Tacray, and I saw these probably, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, something like that. And the second I saw it, I knew eventually I'd have to try these out. I thought they were seriously the bee's knees. Took a long time. You guys know I trade for everything, so, these aren't just super common. Everyone has them. It's not like I don't know, a Griptilian or something, or God, everyone has like a Benchmade bug out. I mean, as far as trading goes, it's very difficult to get unique, interesting items like this. Not common, common enough where it's on Amazon, I guess, but I'm just saying, I don't see a bunch of people have them. But anyway, what are these? These are obviously folding knives, but what makes these kind of cool is these are specifically designed to be folding kitchen knives. All right, now as just a folding knife, food out of the picture whatsoever, I just dig them because they're big. I love my big cold steel pocket folders, pocket swords. I love big folding knives. I think they're super fascinating. So that alone had me interested. But to have a folding kitchen style knife, right? It's kind of like a Sandoku-ish blade. It's obviously the blade and handle are quite offsets, and the blade is down on, let's say, a chopping board. It allows your hand to be up and above, which is really nice, right? So when you're doing your thing, generally speaking, I do a lot of that. But even if you choke back here, it just works well. All right, if you're doing kind of like angled push cuts, cutting veggies or whatever you're doing, you guys, you know what you do. But I thought it was interesting. It's pretty cool. So I want to check it out. And I have to say, it's awesome. I haven't used the orange one. I got two because one I want to actually keep in my large knife collection, which I think will be the orange. Oh, no, maybe it'll end up being the black because that's what I'm using anyway. But one I want to use in the kitchen. Maybe the orange one's cool for the kitchen. But yeah, so they actually make two sizes, and this one here is the smaller of the two. All right. The blade comes in at 4.4 inches. This is a 10 CR15 MOV. It's a softer steel. As far as kitchen use, you want to really be careful because it's softer. This is the downside to these is you got to be careful with the bones. All right. Specifically, I'm going to be cutting chicken wings later. I bought full chicken wings, and I like to cut off the wing tips and then separate, of course, the flat from the drumstick. And maybe I'll film that. Maybe I'll check that out because I want to see how the edge holds up to that. Obviously, I'm trying to cut in the joint, but I'm not always perfect, so I go to cut, and sometimes I'll just hit the bottom of that drumstick bone. And yeah, it's really going to test the edge here. In general, I'd stay away from that. I mean, with all kitchen knives, unless you have specifically a boning knife or a cleaver or something, you want to kind of stay away from bones. They're obviously hard to cut. You also want to stay away from frozen foods. If you have, let's say, meat that's not totally thawed yet, that is brutal on your very thin edges, regardless of the blade steels. But yeah, like I said, maybe I'll film it. We'll see. But I'll test it out with some bones soon. But with regular vegetables, soft meats, I've done chicken breasts. I've done boneless thighs, cutting that. What else? Did a whole watermelon, all kinds of stuff. But I will also say, because this is a folding knife, we have a pivot, right? We have two handle scales, some standoffs here. You want to really, really be careful to not get the pivot all gunked up. The advantage of a traditional kitchen knife is that there's no nooks and crannies for all that food, and especially meat fats and oils and grease and stuff like that to get in and then rot and get rancid and smell. You don't want your knife to smell. You don't want liquids to get down in there because obviously a lot of different food prep is wet. Vegetables have water in it, juice, meat has juice, blood, things like that. Interesting random factoid, but when you buy a steak at the store, that red liquid, it's not blood. I forget the term for it. It starts with an M. It's not melatonin. What is it? Mellow something? Anyway, that stuff is not blood. Actually, all the blood is removed from beef in the processing, when they break down the animal. So during that entire process, the blood is removed. So when you basically have a steak from the store and you cook it on the grill, whatever you're doing with it, and you like it medium rare and you cut into it and you all have that juice come out, it's not blood. It's just red water, essentially. Red colored water. You could Google that, get all the actual information. But anyway, that's an aside. I like the design. I like how it's offset. There is a little jimping on the liners here, which it feels good. It's not super aggressive, but you definitely feel it. It's way back here. So again, if you're doing those angled, like a regular push cut straight down is not as easy to slice through things than if you do, like, let me give you a side view, right? Let's say here's my carrot, because it's nice and orange. All right, so if you just try to chop like this straight down, yeah, nice sharp edge, tink, tink, you could definitely cut. But if you just come here and you do like a 45-degree angle and you slice down like a push cut like that, as opposed to a slice, you know what a slice is, right? We're using, you know, you could slice forward, I suppose. Most people slice backward. So you're starting at the heel and you go slice through, slice through. This, you're not trying to rub the edge on something. You're basically in one particular spot on the blade. I'm just saying, as you're doing it, you're moving forward with your hand action. It just makes it easier. I don't know, maybe it's hard to explain. But yeah, these have been pretty good. I don't know what the factory edge angle here is. It's like a little bit on the thinner side, but it's not crazy thin. You know, like some really nice higher end, you know, kitchen knives, but it's done really, really well. Both meat and vegetables. It's just kind of cool. And they're pretty affordable. This version here is $40, all right, the small version with the 4.4-inch blade. It's 10 inches overall, by the way, where it weighs 5.2 ounces. The larger versions are $53, so an extra $13, but you get 5.5 inches of blade, 12.2 inches overall, and 7.8 ounces, all right? Also, if you notice when I turn it over, or if you're staring at that orange one, these are button locks. But the button is on the right side, which is fantastic. I love this because it feels natural, like when you're done cutting or whatever, it feels natural to just use your pointer finger on the back end. You move your fingers out of the way, all right, and then you could just drop the blade, all right? Big old opening here, funky style, so it doesn't matter how big your hands are, you meet mitts, you could still get that open very easily. Again, the button lock, you can swing it shut, or you can, use two hands. You don't have to, always be aggressive with your knives, but I just like it on the back end, mostly because, I'm righty, so if I'm using a pinch grip like this, it tends to fall in between, that button lock tends to fall in between my middle finger and my pointer finger on the back end. If it was on the front, my thumb would be resting on it, and it's possible to disengage it. Now, you're still, when you're cutting things, you're putting pressure on the edge, so unless you bump the back, it doesn't matter if it's locked or not, all right? Because you're still pushing it that way. You know what I mean? So even if I disengage this completely, I could cut, carrots or whatever I'm doing, and it shouldn't really be a problem. But obviously, because it's folding, you want it to be fixed. And by the way, there's no blade play at all, up and down, left or right, nothing. It's very, very solid. For a $40 knife, it's pretty unique. It's big, it's a cool design. Biggest downside, like I said, the softer steel to keep it cheaper. I'd love to see this in like some VG10. That'd be reasonable if it was under $100. VG10, I'm down with that. S30V. There's a slew of different, steels people I'm sure would love to see this in. I'd love to see a real high-end version of this. I don't think that one exists, but the literal same design, maybe $250, best of the best materials type thing, I think people would dig it. It would really be something special, but I just love that it's kind of different. Right, it's being a folding Sandoku knife essentially, just kind of cool, but affordable. At the end of the day, people see these new knives, you want to try different things out all the time, but it's like, oh wow, it's $600. I don't want to spend $600, but $40, or $53, that's more reasonable. So I dig them. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video. Take care.